How are you all doing today? And I hope the week has been quite interesting to you, because over here the week has been quite interesting, I must say, because few trades that we took actually are doing pretty well, right? A couple of things. All right, we have a few things to discuss today. First off, we're going to talk about the dollar, right? I'm talking about DXY, as you can see, what's going on in the market, and possibly we're also going to talk about what's actually happen in the market that kind of like caused this kind of uproar, this level of drop on dollar index. And potentially we're going to discuss few trades I have going on right now, right? The one that are doing pretty well, the one that are still quite weird. Okay. And then we're going to talk about gold and silver, the current deterrent in their momentum. I mean, we know that both gold and silver, they've been moving pretty much the same in the last couple of weeks. But lately, I mean, or let's just say today in particular, gold and silver seems to be moving in a whole different direction from what we know it to be, right? So we're gonna quickly talk about that just for like a minute or two. We're not gonna spend too much time on it, okay? And after that, we're just going to like move on, right? Move on, wrap it up. That's what I mean by move on. And maybe WTI, guys. Okay, we have a lot to talk about, so let's just straight into it. So first off, starting with dollar index here, as you can see right here, I made a statement like I always do. I mean, you can call it analysis, you can call it a statement, because I just use rates, right? I did not know what's going to happen in the market, but right here you can see that dollar index ended up breaking this particular trend line. The last video I recorded, I said before I can comfortably sell dollar index or be quite bearish again, I said it has to break this particular trend line, this one right here. It has to be broken. And you can see what happened. I think yesterday, right? On Monday, it broke, and throughout today, this is what we have. Okay, don't forget this time frame is 12-hour time frame. So in the 24 hours, we have this and we have this. Okay, this is the whole of today. All right, these two candle, and this other two candle is the one that we had yesterday for DXY. So it's been a sell-off day for the DXY. It's been pure sell-off, and I kind of like what I see right here, because it's a testament to what we've been waiting for, right? Because the call was when it retests 99.30, we should get a fast drop, right? And when it retested it here, it actually did drop. But what happened was the market continued to the upside. So some people would call this a trap, a liquidity sweep, all sorts of things. There are so many terms you can use for something like that. But I would just say that this is a Trump move, since everybody can just use any kind of term they want. So I figured I should use Trump move, because Trump has been throwing some words around. Some support the dollar, some doesn't. All right. When you are picking fights with all your neighbors, when you're picking fights with all your allies, I mean, it's probably going to hand two ways. It's either it favors you or it doesn't. All right. And so far, so good. The stock market is pretty much down. The what do you call it again? The dollar itself is down. So moving on. So now that we are here on DXY, what else can we expect? This trend line has been broken. The 99.40 region remain intact. Okay, although it was slightly broken, but we can say this is more like a trap. So I would say that the market is still quite strong, and that region is still holding the price pretty much steadily. Okay, so moving on, I'll say maybe a pullback tomorrow. Okay, back to retesting. Don't forget we have resistance here. We had resistance here, and then we also had support here some time ago. Now the market has broken this particular key zone. Okay, it's already a key zone. We have resistances and we have support. Key zone, right? So now maybe we're gonna get another resistance here, which should just cement this particular region as a perfect key zone. All right, although it's been violated multiple times, it was broken here, all right, and then now it has broken here too, right? So maybe we're gonna get resistance there around that 98.80 region, right? And the market will just continue to the downside from there. Don't forget that at large, I'm still very bearish on dollar index, but right now this is what I have on it. Okay, a slight pullback to retesting 98.80, and then we're gonna see dollar fall further to the downside based on the fundamentals and all the fights, all the bickering, all the the drama between Trump's Greenland. Everybody is quite uncertain on what is going on in the United States of America right now. I would say that I will tell you that for free. Not everybody is certain. Even the Americans, and I'm not sure they are sure where the current administration is leading them to. Okay, I mean, let's just keep watching. All right, enough of my personal drama. Okay, so moving on. Euro dollar, don't forget I was buying euro dollar and it was in a whole lot of mess. Okay, it was in a whole lot of mess. And fortunately for me, I got a very good, I was able to hold on to the trade for a long time. And right here, this is where I'm at. Okay, the market almost tapped me out right here on euro dollar. And today happened, it actually started yesterday when the market gapped up heavily. The same thing happened on gold. There's a gap to the upside. And then from there, we are seeing a massive rally to the upside. Now, euro dollar is not done yet. Okay, I don't think this move is actually done yet. There is still a possibility of a massive rejection to the downside. Okay, it is still very much there. However, if you get a break above this supply zone, this particular one here, and this particular trend line also get broken to the upside, right? Then we can say that we have, euro dollar have a chance at retesting 1.19 region, okay, all the way to the upside. But in my personal opinion, on the daily, I think daily is still much very close to weekly. So let's take a look at the weekly. On the weekly time frame, I would say that this looks very bullish to me, and there is high possibility, okay, high possibility of us seeing euro dollar, in fact, retesting this particular region as 1.12. All right, very much possible. When it's gonna happen, I can't tell you because I don't know myself. But based on this momentum that we've seen right there, right, there's high possibility of us getting 1.12 in the nearest future as far as euro dollar is concerned. So what you want to probably wait for, in my opinion, is a break above this trend line, this particular one, a break above it, a pullback, okay, back to this key zone. Don't forget we have resistance there. Then use it as support, then you can look for buy opportunity. We have a region here that we have to contend with, the buyers have to contend with. Once that is broken at 1.1924, right? Once that level is broken, this particular one, once it's broken, then we are heading towards 1.12. All right. So that is where you want to actually be targeting. All right. If you take it to 4 hour time frame, I think it's kind of like cool over there. It makes a bit more sense there. So let's take a look at it. So first off, exactly what I was saying earlier. Okay, a break above here. Okay, a break above this everything here we actually get probably mitigated, all right? Get broken. This all these supplies on here. I'm not sure they have much potentials or much strength to keep euro dollar down. Although they can push it down a little bit for a pullback, probably back to this region or probably back here. But I think there's that possibility of them going back up, euro dollar going back up based on the trajectory of the XY itself. All right. So, but overall, if you want to add to this trade or you want to join at all, you want to be conservative about it. Wait for dollar to break above 1.180. All right, a pullback to retest this region, or maybe even deeper, right? Maybe a deeper retest back to this particular zone. Then you can look for buy. Target 1.19 or higher on that weekly that we discussed earlier, which is at 1.12 region. All right. So that is my plan on euro dollar. Watch out very closely. I told you last time that I'm shorting Solana, and it's just a very cool one. Okay, it makes absolute sense. All right, I took it last week, and so far it's running down. I don't want to go in full details as to why I'm shorting this, but overall, if you take a look at this on the daily band, let's take a look at the 12-hour time frame. You can see the bearish momentum is actually crystal clear, right? We have lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. We have lower low here. As a matter of fact, it was ranging since November 2025, and then I got this particular supply zone retested. It's actually a key zone as well. That's what I love about this. A key zone, a supply zone, all of them converging together. It gives me a high trading opportunity, if you know what I'm trying to say. So we have support here, we have resistance, and then lastly, we got this resistance. And then it gave me some things I love to see that I don't want to talk about. But if you can see the chart very well, you know what I'm trying to say. So so far so good. It just makes sense. Okay, you have got a diagonal as well, as you can see, an ending diagonal over there. It can also make a whole lot of sense. It kind of add another edge or another advantage edge into the whole trade itself. So everything just makes sense on Solana being short. And my target is going to be around that 100 region. Okay, I know some crypto guys, even myself as an investor in Solana, because I've been buying Solana from forever. So watching Solana drop from over, I think almost three, there was a time it touched 300, right? Yeah. By the time it touched 280, so to speak. From that 280, 270, 260 region, now we're expecting it to go down to 100. That is not something that anybody want to swallow or anybody want to think about. As hard as it is for me to, I just have to short it. Okay, and so far I'm making money on that one, so everything's cool. USDCHF, another one that I took, and this was a very good one. Don't forget, the dollar swing is a very, very bearish pair. All right, on the weekly band, you can see it's been bearish for since the beginning of time. Okay, very bearish. And right here, since July 2025, it's been in this particular flat. Okay, it's been very flat, just ranging. And I won't take range past dollar swedes and dollar card. They love to range. They can range very tightly, they can range very wide, right? Something like this is a very tight range. What we had here also is a very tight range. As you can see, this is a wide range. If I measure this now, this should be roughly around 1,000 and some pips. Okay, this move to the downside, 1,000 and some, 1,000 and some, 1,000 and some. Okay, this is a lot of pips right there, because even this tight range alone is like 300 and something pips. All right, and don't forget this is a weekly time frame. So this pair loves to range. All right, but when they break out as well, they move like wildfire. So, and that's why I also, it's part of my, it's part of the asset I love to trade. But when it comes to buying them, I'm always very skeptical buying them, because I know overall Swiss will always be strong, Swiss franc will always be strong. All right. So anything like Swiss JPY, I will always keep buying. All right. Anything like Euro Swiss, I will only look for short. Pound Swiss, I will only look for short. I would never buy those pairs. Even though swap might not favor me like that, but the momentum at which uh Swiss franc being a denominator, right? The momentum at which they sell off is very insane. Okay, go and check Euro Swiss, Pound Swiss, Kiwi Swiss, Aussie Swiss. Check all of those pairs. All right, you will see that they've been selling since the beginning of time, and you will be shocked that they will keep selling for the rest of the for the rest of this planet that we have right now. Because Swiss is a very, very safe currency, and Switzerland also is one of the most protected countries in the world, where what happens over there when you can keep your money in a very different name. Nobody, I mean, without sanction, without all sorts of things. That's the kind of thing that bring investors into buying your currency, into investing into your countries. You understand what I'm saying? So that is why Swiss franc will always be a good asset or good currency pair that you might want to trade, especially this year when there is uncertainties. All right, that's all. When there are so many uncertainties that surround the dollars, this might be a currency that you really want to dive into. Anyways, that's just an advice from me to you. Moving on, we have this one. It's doing very well. If you want to short this or you want to join, I would say just leave it alone. Okay, I can't really see another entry unless you want to probably wait for this pullback and you want to short, right? But my target is still far down. Okay, but don't forget that it's also a range. If I see any counter kind of price action at the bottom here, I'll be taking this particular trade off the table. Okay, so we have this multiple support down here, and we have multiple resistance as well at the top here. All of them standing very strong, very heavy. So if we get a price action at the bottom here that can cause the price to continue to the upside again, I will take this off the table and will prepare myself for another short opportunity when it presents itself. But overall, dollar swing makes sense. Dollar card on the other hand is a very new one. Okay, it's still pretty much young. You can in fact join this one, but overall I'm still quite bearish on dollar card because dollar itself is very, very, it's not like card is super strong like that, but dollar it's dollar in and of itself is pretty weak. So I just want to leverage that, or let's say I want to take advantage of that, just to milk dollar swing all the way to the downside. And so far so good. We have a retest of this particular key zone. We have support here, then we have resistance, which converge at 61.8 Fibonacci, okay, 0.618. So that also kind of gives this particular trade an edge. Also, we can call this kind of like a leading I mean an end diagonal right here. There's a diagonal structure there as well. Might not be the best kind of diagonal that you're looking for, but it's right there. And then I got my candlestick pattern entry and I just take the trade. All right, simple as that. Also, you can see I got a divergence also. So everything kind of ticks on this one. So why not just take the trade? Although if you want to join now, you can wait for a slight pullback, something like this. All right, and then you can short all the way to the downside. But anything that makes this break above this region, okay, anything that makes dollar card break above there, I will be closing the trade and possibly leave it alone. But it's the only, I would say that it's the only trade I'm currently not trailing. This is gonna be the only trade I'm not trading right now. So that's that on dollar card. Dollar. I mean silver. Now silver didn't really make any much move today, as you can see right here on the 4 hour time frame. This is the whole of silver, right? No serious moves, okay? No heavy, massive pump to the upside. It's been around this region since yesterday from 90 to 94. All right, this is the kind of move that happened in less than 3 hours on silver. It has been following the current trajectory on this particular asset. All right. And I had something, okay, I had something on this particular page. Let me take this to the monthly. So this is gold and silver. Okay, this is XAUXAG. Okay, gold paired against silver. And you can see that every time there is a that silver take control. Like when you see a drop like this, it means gold momentum slow down and silver momentum rise against it. Okay, it overshadow gold. And you can see in the last couple of months, we've seen that silver has been taking charge of the chart. As a matter of fact, this is like from 2025, like a whole year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is like 9 months kind of moves, right? Almost a year. So when you see something like this, okay, so I went back in time. I saw that the last time this happened, this was 2008 to 2010, or 2009 to 2011, excuse me. All right, you see that we have like negative 65.91. This particular chart of gold lost its momentum against silver with over 65%, right? Over 65%. The same thing happened in 2020 and 2022, between 2020 and 2022, when it dropped by 51%. So right now we've seen that right here, it has already dropped from 2025 to 2026. It has already dropped by what? 53.89%. Don't forget, this is XAG. All right, it is not a tradable asset, but it's a way you can peg just for you to check. I'm not sure it's available for everyone. You have to like buy a package for trading view for you to have access to something like this. I'm just saying, but you can try it out if you see it. So this is what I'm saying, right? XAG. So currently we have 53.89. So there is high possibility that silver will likely slow down while gold start pumping up. All right. So in the next couple of months, we'll start seeing this particular thing, this particular chart. I don't know, it's not an asset, it's not tradable. So this particular chart right here, you can see it start going back up. Because every time, the first time we saw this, we saw 65% drop. The next time we saw 51% drop. Now we've seen 53, almost 54% drop. So high possibility of us getting a rally, okay, to the upside. And if you also check this again, you will see that after all this drama, it most likely rise by 300 and something percent right here. Okay, that's 3 and something percent. That's a lot. Crazy. So here also, how many percent rise did we get? We get around 73%. Okay, that's fair. So maybe, just maybe, we're gonna get roughly a correction like this. All right. Correction like that. If we're gonna continue this lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? If that's gonna happen, if not, we're probably gonna get it actually broken. Maybe get it all the way to the upside. But I don't think silver is over yet. I don't think silver is done yet. I think silver is just getting started, to be honest. So eventually we get a pullback, right? Something like this. Silver will just take a little break, probably retrace back to like 87, $85, right? Before it starts running wild again. So that this is the time for you to actually get yourself prepared for silver, right? Gold is already too expensive, too extreme to buy. You want to look into silver, you want to look into copper right about now. All right, you want to look into copper, you want to look into silver because those ones are still pretty much on the value, and investors will be pushing their money to those assets right now. Okay, diversifying and call it, expanding their horizon or whatnot. Okay, but that's something you want to really start looking into. Okay, just let me quickly give you an insight on that. So far so good on silver. I'm still of this particular thought process that we can get a retest of 88 or maybe a further drop to like 83 before we get it continue to the upside. If you see 88 and extreme 83 retest of this particular key zone, 83 to 80. All right, let me be generous here. 83 to 80. Okay, anything from 88, 83, or 80. Right. Those are the region you want to start looking for buy on silver. Okay, wait for the pullbacks. If you get it, wait for at least wait for this gap to cover. Then you can now go in on silver. But you can see it's slowing down already, which is fine. And I'm also spotting a divergence at the top here, which is also a very good taste. All right, I love this. So all I'm expecting now is just a little drop. All right, back to this demand zone or probably to this particular extreme of 80. Then I look for what? I look for buy opportunity on silver. So that is that on silver. Guys, I will see you tomorrow. Have a fabulous day. Bye for now.